Hey folks, it's Alex again with Dark Monkey Balls, providing crappy innuendo since 1832. Just want to do another podcasty type video on the Python ban. Beating a dead horse at this point, but you know what? That horse has just been looking at me funny, and I got a nice shiny baseball bat, might as well, right? Just a couple things. There's so many videos out there on YouTube and stuff that provide information. Like there's really nothing new I can say, but there's one point that I think people are starting to miss a little bit, and not just for reptiles but for everybody. The way this thing was passed, there's a lot of money in lobbyists against us, and a lot of loopholes, and that's the issue. The loopholes used here. Are what allowed them to pass this without voting. And it's kind of foreshadowing for future stuff. It starts with a small group like us, the reptile community, and it moves on to everybody. Basically, all you got to do is repeat the formula as many times as you want until you pass through every law that you want to pass through, which sounds extreme, and hopefully checks and balances kind of work out, but it didn't this time because the government says, "Oh, hey, it's to help you guys and environment and protecting that and all that good stuff." But the lack of evidence here for this case was just ridiculous. I mean, if it was a murder case or robbery, it would have gotten thrown out because of the lack of evidence. I mean, it's a little scary on how they did things here. And like I said, it starts with one group and it just continues on. There's pushes for a lot of different industries and hobbies to restrict and cut things down, but like SOPA and that other law, it kind of fell through because so many people band together quick to get rid of it. A lot of people like to draw parallels between the two bills, but really, they're kind of similar in the sense that we're restricting liberties, but they're very different in the size of the communities here. Everybody uses the internet. Not everybody's keeping snakes. There's a very small group of people that keep reptiles and snakes here, and that's the issue. Petitions, all this stuff. It's good intended work, good intentions, but the big problem is a lack of education in the general populace, a lack of positive imaging for the reptile community, and we're kind of to blame for that. We get snippy because we've been fighting laws for quite some time, and a lot of us kind of act like douchebags. I've heard people using USARC and PJAC as a cop-out for this thing passing through when they were the ones fighting the hardest to make sure it didn't pass. And it's that kind of bullshit that just isn't going to work out. You can't blame the people that are fighting for you when they lose. It's a small group fighting a huge lobbyist group. PETA, the Humane Society, which isn't humane. If you look at their stats, they euthanize more than 90% of the animals that they come in. So what are they saving? They're against pet ownership. So what do they do with the animals they do bring in? Logic suggests, you got to think that if they're against pet ownership and they're taking in animals, what are they going to do with them? They can't send them out as pets, right? So these are the guys that are trying to restrict your rights to keep what you want. And again, we should have been more proactive with our own laws, trying to write bills for proper pet care or registration of giant snakes, because I don't really feel that everybody is qualified to keep a big snake, especially people that just go to a store and buy it on a whim. That's exactly the opposite of what we want. But through a little education, it's not impossible. I mean, Burms are very docile animals, and as long as you're giving them what they need, there's not an issue. So, it's things like that, the lack of education and the way these bills were passed. It's just scary. It's not the end of these things. So we gotta stay vigilant and stay proactive. So I mean, if you're in the hobby, you got snakes, people that have no clue about them. Do your best to educate. Do your best to be patient with folks if they're asking questions that are new to the hobby. It's just important that we get as much proper and positive info out there that we can, because at the end of the day, if folks were more educated, if the system worked like it's supposed to, this stuff wouldn't have happened. And if the law was based on actual scientific data, this wouldn't have happened, but it wasn't, and that's the part that sucks. There's loopholes that they used, like I said, and it's just scary. They can do this again and again until they ban whatever the hell they want, and destroy the industry. So we gotta stay vigilant out there and do whatever we can, all that good stuff. So hey, go buy something, I guess, or watch porn, whatever. Talk to you guys later.